Hello everyone. Today we'll talk about 七步诗 by Cao Zhi. 七步诗, the poem in 7 footsteps, is among the most popular poems for Chinese kids. It may not be the best poem by Cao Zhi, but it was the most recited and remembered poem until today. Okay, let's have the poem first. 七步诗 曹植 煮豆燃豆萁 豆在釜中泣 本是同根生 相煎何太急 Before we explain the poem, let's have the poem background first. It's a story. Cao Zhi has an elder brother named Cao Pi. So these two brothers are sort of the rivals for the throne of the time. So his brother take the power at the time being. So he asked Cao Zhi to write a poem in 7 footsteps. So if he cannot write the poem after walking 7 steps, he will be killed. Okay, let's see the poem now. 七步诗 7 steps poem, which refers to the background story. So it comes from the background story. 煮豆燃豆萁 豆 soybean, which is the most popular food in Asian China. So 煮豆 cooking the soybean with the stem of the soybean. 豆萁 the stem of the soybean. So that's a very typical scenarios, or is quite familiar for the people of the time beings. That's the life. That's the daily life. The second sentence, 豆在釜中泣. From here, the poem totally changed. The poet sings the way of a soybean sings. So he just take the soybean as a person, a human being. The soybean doesn't sing actually, so you just pretend you are the soybean in the cooking pot. And you are crying your weeps in the cooking pot. 本是同根生 So still is the soybean is sinking. We are from the same root. That means we are from the same families. This is quite a common sense for China, because the Chinese always think the big family as the tree or plant with deep root. The root is the fundamental, so it's your ancestors, and you are the leaves, you are the branches. So here it brings the feelings to the common sense of a typical Chinese. We are the same families, and he used the very popular concept, the family trees. 相煎何太急 煎 fry, cooking. So 相煎 means the stem, the soybean stem is trying to cook, to fry the soybean. 相煎 何太急 何 is it necessary? Is it a must to do? 太急 is so hurry, in such a hurry. So the sentence expresses the feeling, the furious and is doubted thoughts. Why are you in such a hurry to cook, to fry your own families, your same blood? For the kid, this poem is quite interesting. It's a vivid scenery from the daily life, the soybeans, the cookings, and also is a alert to the brotherhoodship, because in the Asian families you always have brothers, so it's also from their daily life, and also the background stories. It looks really interesting. Anyhow, it's not an interesting story, but for the kids, all these things sum up together, make it a very good story and a very easy to recite poem. So when you're talking about 煮豆燃豆萁 among Chinese, everybody knows it. And the other words, 本是同根生，相煎何太急. So it's known by every Chinese. It's so straightforward, and it has so much meanings, and has a very, very good story behind that. I can only say the story is good. So it is a very sad story. Cao Zhi was the leading poet of a type of literature, 建安风骨. 建安风骨 was the root or the slogans for the early Tang poetry. So they want to restore the characteristics or the type of literature of 建安风骨 in the Tang dynasty. So it's one of the foundations of the Tang poetry as well. So 建安风骨actually have 10 people who made this type of literature or this period famous. Cao Zhi was the leading poet, and his brother, who asked him to do this poet, Cao Pei, is one of them. And their father, Cao Cao, another very big name in Chinese history. So this father and 2 sons, plus another 7 poets, all these 10 people made these literature styles famous. 才高八斗 was used to describe a great genius, an idiom used quite often nowadays. It was first used to describe Cao Zhi actually. A poet, Xie Lingyun, after Cao Zhi's death, roughly 100 and little more, he described Cao Zhi as 才高八斗, so which means if the wisdom of all the world is 10 dou, dou is measurement, is 10, and Cao Zhi have 8 of them. And no matter how many poets, no matter how many genius there is, Cao Zhi take 80% of the wisdom of all the world of them. Cao Zhi write the first essay or article on painting theory, which is the first in Chinese history, maybe the first in the world history. I'm not quite sure about that. Also created the first Chinese style music for the Buddhism, 赞背. So he's the very typical classic people. He can do singing, writing, painting, all kinds of things. A genius in everything. The period, 建安, is almost the end of the Han dynasty. So his father, Cao Cao, was one of the founding characters for the 3 kingdoms. Cao Cao looks on Cao Zhi very much because he shows the talent at very young age. But gradually, something disappointed Cao Cao. So finally he passed his power to the elder brother Cao Pi, who forced Cao Zhi to write this poem. So this story is believed to be happened when Cao Cao died and Cao Pi take the power, and he has take action to destroy his political enemy, his brother, junior brother Cao Zhi. And someone said this story is a fake story, and also this poem is not by Cao Zhi, but doesn't matter. It's just like Cao Zhi made this one. And the story, the 7 steps, the wisdom, the smart, also make everyone believes it's a story about Cao Zhi and story about his brother Cao Pi. 建安风骨 born in a big chaos time. In that time, China split into so many regions and ruled by a lot of people, different peoples, even though they don't ascend to the throne, but the real power, the real rulings is by so many peoples, and gradually it became the major 3 kingdoms. So then it enters to the 3 kingdoms period or dynasty. Cao Cao is the most powerful and most famous during this period, the father of Cao Zhi. So the father and sons and other 7 people, 建安七子, they created and formed the literature style of 建安风骨. Interestingly, the other 7 is all is the officials of Cao Cao. So they are actually all friends or very closely related. That's because of the Cao Cao is made a lot of efforts to encourage the intellectuals to come out to take the charge to contribute to the countries. So 建安风骨 is quite strong even in such a chaos time. Express feelings and is very strong, and also express feelings to contribute the country. But their leading character, Cao Zhi, the poet, write this poem. He combines the both of the Book of Songs and 楚辞 together. It's not with very romantic, strong styles. He also writes some magic things, which is always thought to belong to the 楚辞. So he combines these 2 styles, the 2 major branch of styles of Chinese literature, Book of Songs and 楚辞 together. So that's Cao Zhi. And roughly in the Qing dynasty, were famous people that in the long history of China, the most famous 3 poets is, the first one is Cao Zhi, and the second is Li Bai, the third is Su Shi. Okay, let's try to fill the poetry again. 本是同根生. So you have the story of the poem, and you also know his brother who forced him to make the poem. And you just imagine you are Cao Zhi and you're trying to make the poem at the moment. So 本是同根生，相煎何太急. The most famous recite of this poem happened roughly 80 years ago about Xin Sijun new 4th army. And after the incident or the accident, Zhou Enlai, Premier Zhou Enlai, at that time it's not Premier, he write 相煎何急. So 相煎何急 is from this poem. Okay, I hope you enjoy this one, and bye bye.